So today we're looking at some of the best cases for the OnePlus 11 that just came out. I'll leave a link for everything covered in today's video in the description down below. So let's go ahead and get started. Now the first one up is the official Sandstone bumper case from OnePlus. I was kind of curious about this one, mainly because it reminds me of the first OnePlus phone that had the sandstone texture there on the back. Really nice and rigid with this case, barely flexes at all. Pretty simple to snap this one onto the phone. And as far as the fit goes, really nice and snug with this case. This case is actually a lot thinner than I thought it would be. The screen protection on this one's a little more unique, how it has the ridges there on the corners, a little bit of extra on the top and bottom, pretty much flush on the sides, so not a lot of protection on the sides. Maybe not quite as textured as the original OnePlus phone, but still feels pretty nice in the hand. Has just enough protection going around the cameras on the back, and the design on this one looks pretty nice as well. Nice opening for the alert slider. Doesn't take too much effort to do the alert slider. Nice ridges there on the sides of the case. Power and volume buttons seem to stick out plenty on each side. Definitely one of the better ones out there as far as power and volume buttons. Super easy to use. Nice large cutout there on the bottom for the charging port and speaker as well. So plenty of room for the charging cable. Fairly lightweight here, only 28 grams for the case itself. Weighs in at 232 grams with the case on. Overall, just really nice design here with the official Sandstone bumper case. Now this silicone case is by a brand that I can't really pronounce. Sort of looks like Gamino Hugo. Comes in 3 different colors, blue, black, or the one shown here is cyan. But I gotta tell you, this is actually a pretty nice silicone case. Interesting thing is, even though this is an off-brand case, it actually looks like something official you would get from OnePlus. Even has the OnePlus logo there on the back. It's a pretty flexible, softer TPU material. Has almost like a felt material on the inside. Probably one of the easiest cases to put on. It does have a little bit of play there on the sides, not much though. The power and volume buttons stick out plenty there on the sides. The volume buttons do feel like they're a little bit clickier than the power button, but they both actually work really nice. Again, the design of this one is just really nice in person. I feel like they could have made the alert slider opening just a little bit larger, but overall not too bad. Looks like this one's just a hair above the screen there on the sides, and then extra screen protection on the corners, top and bottom as well. Really nice clean design here on the back. You can also see there's a really nice ridge or lip going around the cameras on the back. And overall, it's just a nice clean design. Now the opening for the charging port, it does look a little rough there. Doesn't affect it though when you're charging it, just more of a cosmetic thing. Fairly lightweight case, 30 grams by itself, and then 236 grams with the case on. I feel like they could make the texture even a little bit softer, but overall it actually has really nice grip. And if you're looking for a silicone case, this is definitely one of my favorites I've seen so far. Now this ultra hybrid case from Spigen comes in 2 different styles. There's a crystal clear version, which I normally get, but I thought I would try this matte black version just to see how it is. And I gotta say, it actually looks really nice in person. Overall, it's a pretty rigid case, doesn't really flex much, has a harder plastic shell there on the back, and then a softer TPU material around the edges. Pretty simple to snap the phone into this case. It's a super snug fit on here too. Pretty much zero play on the sides. Pretty clean design here on the back as well. Even the black going around the edges is pretty close to the black color of the OnePlus phone itself. This one actually has a little better side protection than I usually see. A little extra on the top and bottom. I like how they got the texture on the power button. Probably one of the clickiest and the easiest to use. Same thing with the volume buttons, really nice and clicky. You barely have to push them for them to work. That's always good to see. And probably one of the better ones as far as the alert slider goes. Just has a nice taper around it, so it makes it a little easier to use. Probably just enough protection going around the cameras on the back. Now, because this is a clear case on the back, you are going to get some fingerprints. I feel like that's pretty typical with clear cases. Definitely one of the larger ones as far as the opening for the charging port as well. About 32 grams for the case itself, 238 grams with the case installed. As long as you keep it clean on the back, actually it looks like a really nice case. Now the Liquid Air Armor case by Spigen, definitely going to be one of the thinner cases, pretty flexible TPU material. You can sort of see the pattern there on the back. I feel like that adds just a little bit of texture. It does have a little bit of play there on the edges, but it does feel like it's got just enough side protection for the screen. Pretty good on the top and bottom as well. Really nice clean design here on the back. I kind of wish they would put the OnePlus logo there in the middle. And it looks like it's got just enough thickness there so it's not gonna scratch up the cameras when you lay this down. This one does have a little bit of branding there on the sides. I feel like Spigen always does a really nice job with the power and volume buttons. Super easy to use, and they stick out plenty there on the sides. Plus they taper it around the alert slider, so it makes it really easy to get to. Nice oversized cutout for the charging port as well. Also has these little ridges on the side. Definitely helps with grip on the case. Pretty lightweight, only about 30 grams for the case itself. About 240 grams with the case on. Overall, just a really nice case by Spigen. Now, if you're more concerned about how a phone case looks, this Aramid carbon fiber cover, it's by a company I can't really pronounce, sort of like Wapuan HM, but I gotta say, this is a really nice case. It's probably one of the thinnest cases I've seen, and it's not gonna offer a lot of protection for your phone. Super tight fit though. It's almost like a plastic shell that you just snap onto the phone just to give it a little bit different look. Really the only screen protection is sort of at the corners. Not really much protection on the sides at all, but it does have a nice lip going around the cameras on the back. It just has a really nice look to it. The texture on here is almost like a soft touch material, but maybe a little bit smoother. You can see it doesn't even cover up the power and volume buttons. You definitely don't have to worry about those being covered up. Same thing with the alert slider. Really nice and easy to get to. Nice and large cutout for the charging port as well. Easily one of the lightest cases I've ever tested, only about 12 grams. Weighs in at 214 grams with the case on. So if you want the lightest case out there and you're not concerned about extra protection, you just want a different style on the back, this Aramid case is actually a really nice option. Now, if you just want a plain silicone bumper case, this one here by Folu comes in 4 different colors: black, blue, purple, and the one shown here is green. It's got a nice soft touch material here on the inside, pretty flexible TPU material. It does have a little bit of play there in the sides, obviously because it's softer, thinner material, but it still feels like it's pretty snug on the phone. Not a lot of screen protection on the sides, but pretty good on the top and bottom. Power and volume buttons actually work pretty good on here. The volume buttons do feel a little bit better than the power button, but they both actually work really nice. Fairly simple to get to the alert slider as well. Nice and tapered cutout around it. This one's also going to protect the cameras on the back a little bit more versus having just the whole circle open. Overall, nice clean design, and it has decent grip on it as well. Nice and large cutout for the charging port as well. Says 26 grams for the case itself, 234 grams with the case on. So yeah, just a really nice simple silicone case for your OnePlus 11 by Folu. Now, if you're looking for a clear case, maybe with some black accents around the edges, this one is also by a company I haven't heard of. It's like Gamino HiG. This one's a silicone hybrid case. It actually is a lot thinner than I thought it would be. Nice softer TPU material around the edges. Nice and rigid there on the back. Almost too simple to put this case on. Now this one doesn't offer a lot of protection on the sides of the screen, but pretty decent protection on the top and bottom. Easily some of the best as far as power and volume buttons go. Nice and clicky, and they stick out plenty on the edges. I feel like they could make the opening for the alert slider maybe just a little bit larger. Pretty nice design here on the back. The black around the edges actually matches the color of the phone. And then a little extra protection there around the cameras as well. You can also see they've got extra protection on the corners, but it does have a nice cutout there on the bottom for the charging port. Fairly lightweight case here, only about 28 grams for the case itself. 236 grams with the case installed. So just like with all clear cases, as long as you keep the back nice and clean, but overall nice and lightweight case for your OnePlus 11. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.